Hey everyone, it's your host Jobratex, and welcome to Unseen BFDI. Today we're diving deep into the vault of BFDI history, uncovering the characters that almost were. We're talking about early designs, alternate concepts, and the what-ifs that could have reshaped the entire show as we know it. Get ready to feast your eyes on unseen sketches, designs, and maybe even some animation tests. We'll be dissecting each character, analysing their differences, and imagining how these changes could have impacted everything from challenges to relationships. If you're a die-hard BFDI fan like me, you won't want to miss this trip down memory lane. So buckle up, grab your favourite snacks, and get ready for Unseen BFDI, the characters that almost were. First up, let's talk about Tree. Now, we all know and love our leafy friend, but did you know he almost had a completely different look? That's right, early designs showed Tree with vibrant yellow leaves instead of his signature green. Imagine that. Could you picture Tree rocking a sunny yellow canopy instead of his usual look? Now, this seemingly small change could have had a huge impact on his character. Yellow is often associated with happiness, optimism, and even cowardice. Would Tree be the same anxious guy if he was sporting such a bright colour? Would he be more confident, more cheerful, or maybe even more prone to panicking? It's fascinating to think about. Up next, we've got Book. And let me tell you, her early design was a real page-turner. Instead of her familiar blue cover, Book was initially imagined with a striking red design. Can you imagine that? A fiery red book. What kind of personality would that suggest? Red is often associated with passion, danger, and even anger. Would Book be the same voice of reason if she was sporting such a bold colour? Would she be more assertive, more prone to outbursts, or maybe even a bit of a rebel? The possibilities are endless. Now, let's talk about Fries. This might come as a shock, but early concepts for Fries actually depicted him in a seated position. That's right, our favourite French fry wasn't always standing upright. Imagine that, Fries just casually hanging out, always sitting down. This seemingly simple change could have drastically altered Free's interactions with other characters. Would he be as involved in challenges if he was always sitting down? Would he be carried around more often? Would he be more observant, more laid back, or maybe even a bit grumpy from being stuck in one spot? Next up is Gelatin, and oh boy, his early design was something else entirely. Picture this, Gelatin, but without his signature arms. That's right, completely armless. Can you imagine that? How would Gelatin even function without his wobbly little arms? This design choice would have presented some serious challenges for Gelatin in challenges. How would he pick things up, carry objects, or even slap someone with a fish? Would he rely on others for help, develop unique ways to compensate, or become the master of using his head, literally? Hold on to your hats, folks, because Nayli's early design is a real head-scratcher. Imagine this, Nayli but without her legs. That's right, just a head and a nail. Can you imagine that? Nayli just floating around, no legs to stand on. Now, how would this impact Nayli's mobility and interactions? Would she be able to move around on her own, or would she rely on others to carry her? Would she be more observant, more talkative, or maybe even a bit lonely, being stuck in one place? Now let's talk about Gaty. While her final design is sleek and simple, there was an unused asset that showcased a more intricate look. This version of Gaty featured additional details like stripes or patterns on her body. Can you imagine that? Gaty with a whole new look. This unused asset hints at a potentially different aesthetic direction for Gaty. Would these extra details make her more visually appealing, more distracting, or maybe even hint at a hidden backstory? It's fascinating to think about the creative choices that could have been. Next, we've got Marker. And boy, does he have an interesting unused asset. This alternate design showcased a slightly different shape and expression for our favourite drawing utensil. Can you imagine that? A whole new marker. Now, while the differences might seem subtle, they could have had a big impact on Marker's overall personality. Would a different shape make him seem more or less clumsy? Would a new expression change how others perceive him? The possibilities are endless. Hold on tight, because Balloony's unused asset is about to take you for a spin. This alternate design featured a more detailed string, complete with knots and textures. Can you imagine that? Balloony with a fancy string. This seemingly small detail could have added a whole new layer to Balloony's character. Would the detailed string make him seem more fragile, more whimsical, or maybe even hint at a hidden strength? It's amazing how even the tiniest details can make a big difference. Last but not least, we have Bracelety. Now, her unused asset is particularly interesting because it showcases a completely different colour scheme. Instead of her signature pink and yellow, this Bracelety was rocking a whole new palette. Can you imagine that? Bracelety in different colours, what would that even look like? This drastic change in colour could have significantly impacted Bracelety's overall vibe. Would different colours make her seem more or less energetic? Would they change how she's perceived by other characters? Would it clash with Ice Cream's design? The possibilities are endless. And there you have it, folks. Those were just a few of the unseen BFDI characters that almost were. It's amazing to think about how different the show could have been with these alternate designs and concepts. Who knows what kind of personalities, relationships and challenges we would have seen. But hey, that's the beauty of imagination, isn't it? We can explore these what-ifs and appreciate the creative journey that led to the BFDI we know and love today. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the unseen side of BFDI. Until next time, keep on being your awesome selves.